Hello, my name is METİN Arıdaşır. This is 377th part of explanation of my theory. Cosmic microwave background radiation curve. Cosmic microwave background radiation gravitational waves from 5 millimeters black hole receding near at speed of light 272,727 km per second near speed of light. CMBR is not from the past. Yes, I hope you see. Here CMBR wavelength intensity relation graph. Minimum point wavelength 0.5 millimeters and approximately 5 millimeters. Exceed what we say 5 millimeters. For now, here, according to me, it represents 90 degrees. It represents, this direction represents for black hole or electron motion form, relocating direction, motion direction, 0 degree. And here, an electron motion form, 5 millimeter wavelength size electron motion form in motion. Okay. If this is 0.5 millimeter, here lambda wavelength minus delta lambda is equals to 0.5 millimeter. Here lambda minus delta lambda. Cosine 0 is cosine alpha. My main formula, but here lambda minus delta lambda, because cosine 0 is 1, is 0.5. 90 degree normal represents normal wavelength, 5 millimeters. And how can we find delta lambda? Lambda minus delta lambda is equals to lambda minus delta lambda is equals to 5 millimeter. Okay. And then delta lambda divided by lambda equals to source velocity, electron or black hole velocity, divided by speed of light. So source velocity, electron or black hole velocity is, according to me, a black hole is a giant electron motion form. Hmm. 272,727 kilometer per second. Okay, near the speed of light. Now explanation. I will explain. Yes. At first, Big Bang is wrong. Expanding universe is wrong. Cosmic microwave background radiation from the past idea is wrong. Even cosmic microwave background radiation from early galaxy, almost the same age with our universe idea, is wrong, because CMBR source is alive, still is going on. Okay. At first, all continuous spectrum curves. All continuous spectrum curves. Like this. Whether X-ray production, whether from galaxies, whether thermal radiation, all continuous spectrums. All continuous spectrum curves represent free electron motion forms that in motion, and all free electrons, whether they are at rest, not relocate, or in motion, they perpetually produce and propagate intertwined, interconnected, interinteracted, ring-shaped spherical consecutive waves. Since an electron is the unique and regular source of all light waves, and since a wave velocity, wavelength, energy and mass, etc. depends on its source's electron's velocity, this is shortened wavelength of consecutive waves and smallest velocity of waves, but highest energy and highest point mass of wavelength in this direction in 45 degree different, in 90 degrees different, and others different. Okay. Wavelength distribution, mass, point mass distribution, point wave velocity distribution, as this. Different. On its source velocity, again, since an electron is the unique and regular source of all light waves, and since a wave's velocity, wavelength, energy, point wavelength, point velocity, point mass, etc. depends on its source, electrons, velocity, motion direction, and orientation, all continuous spectra curves reflects these changes. There are different wavelengths and corresponding energies, intensities, wavelengths, different intensities. This is smallest wavelength, here 90 degree normal wavelength, and between them. Here there are no greater than 90 degree wavelengths. Okay, I guess its reason is observation technique. Yes. There are different wavelength and corresponding energies, intensities in continuum, but this is so important. This is so important. The frequency, there are continuum variability of wavelengths. In continuum, different wavelengths, but for all wavelengths, there is still only single one frequency. Frequency doesn't change. Okay, frequency doesn't change. Frequency doesn't change because first cycle, second cycle, third cycle, each added consecutive wave, cycle, frequency doesn't change. Wavelength change, point wavelength change, point wave velocity, point wave energy change. Here, contrary to Planck's formulas, Planck's formula is wrong in this context. Planck's formula is wrong in all contexts normally. Yes. It is the same frequency, the same for all wavelengths, contrary to Planck's formulas. Now, since a black hole nothing but an electron motion form, and since all gravitational waves nothing but light waves, we can say CMBR, we must find different name, CMBR, CMBR, cosmic microwave background radiation curve, come from a black hole with 5 mm wavelength, receding from us at near speed of light, 272,727 km per second. Have a good afternoon. See you later.